Welcome to Craterside.
You're back. Oh my gosh. Any word about my brother?
Coming with clouds, and every eye shall be blind with his glory. Every ear shall be stricken deaf to hear the thunder of his voice.
Thirsty partner, try Moriarty's bonus drink.
Defender Rococo Rockfowl, at your service. Might want to watch your head around here, miss. Then I think we'd have a problem. And you don't want to be a problem around here. Protector Kasdan, he says I got a real knack for solving problems. We've got power armor and big guns, and we're the ones doing the talking right now. Usually that's all a person needs to know, and they stop asking questions. You going to stop asking questions now? Bye.
Great. No time to talk to your type.
Hey,
local.
Shouldn't you be banging rocks together?
Hey,
or something?
local. Shouldn't you be banging rocks together or something?
Move along, please. This area clear. Proceeding with search protocol. This area clear. Proceeding with search protocol. This area clear. Proceeding with search area secure. Move along, please. Move along, please. Please stand clear. A lawful use of deadly is in progress. Citizens are advised to clear the area. Do not be alarmed. Order will be restored soon. Please comply. Do not be alarmed. Order will be restored. Lawful use of deadly force. Move along, please. Move along, please.
things are going well. You today, madam? Good evening, madam. I'm sorry.
Let those who dwell here in his favored land.
I wish there were more people like you in the world. And what? No.
Gun!
Fiddled with any interesting technology lately? Harnessing the technology of the past and modifying it for your own purposes? That's just the thing. Tell me all about how it worked out. So, they were dangerous until you got control of them. Definitely a good lesson in there about using old technology. Seems like a good thing to watch for when dealing with tech of any age. And it helps to pack a few pulse grenades, just in case. Here, have a few. Oh, and take my book on science. For some reason, I just can't get into the computer parts, but I've got the rest pretty much memorized. Yes, Rivet Cities in particular. It's the most successful survivor settlement around, but no one here really knows how it started. Of course, that's why it's important to know how a place like that succeeded. So I need you to go there and do some researching. Oh, now I can't wait for what you find out down there. And check around to make sure you're hearing the real deal. What do you need? Good hunting!
Bless the USA and no...
Welcome back. Have you... Heck. There.
thought I was dead. You saved me. They dropped this stuff. Why don't you take it? It's all I have. You're right, it's dangerous out here. I have to go before more of them come. Oh, thank God. Someone knew. I need water, please. Water. You mean you don't want anything for it? I don't have any caps or anything. I can just have... Really?
Welcome to Rivet City. Please wait while the bridge extends.
Hold it right there. State your business in Rivet City. Research, huh? I can't help you there, but you're free to ask around inside. Just don't start any trouble. Bannon and Dr. Lee and I all meet on Monday mornings to talk about citywide issues. It's pretty informal. The council doesn't have much real power. I suppose. The door on the left goes to the stairwell. From there, just keep heading west. She's one of the members of the council. Runs the science lab here. Don't bother her unless it's important. Her lab is in the stern end of the ship. We're the safest, most secure city in the wasteland. Nothing can get in here without our say-so. I don't exactly have time to worry about the history around here, now do I? I've got to worry about what's happening on it now. Carry on, then.
I'm on duty. Make it quick. Chief Harkness meets with Dr. Lee and Bannon to discuss security matters. It's a waste of a good Monday morning, if you ask me. They should just let Chief Harkness call the shots. She's some sort of genius, you know, one of those egghead scientist types. Her lab is in the stern end of the ship. Oh, really? If someone took your stuff, go get it back. If they shoot at you, shoot back. Otherwise, I've got to see it for myself before I'm going to do anything. Later.
Hello. Ted Strayer. You can chill with me if you want, dude. All right. You and me, just hanging. Lady, I only just got here myself. Ain't nothing I could tell you. Later, dude.
Nice to see. Charmed to meet you. I'm Vera Weatherly of the Weatherly Hotel. Well, I really shouldn't tell you, but have you heard about Polly Cantelli? He's addicted to chems. His poor wife Cindy is at her wit's end. You haven't heard? Angela has the hots for Diego. But since he's a priest, he's been putting her off. One of these days, she's just going to jump his bones. They say Mr. Lopez is losing it. He stands on the top of the bridge tower for hours at a time, just staring out over the city. Poor dear. I know what it's like to be alone. I'd love to take him in. Don't worry. I have the means to keep him fed and healthy, but most importantly, safe. Oh, that's wonderful. If you ever wander back into Rivet City, why don't you check up on us? You're always welcome.
Hello.
Nice to see you again. She's not very social. Stays in her lab in the stern. She's smart, though. Real smart. It's noisy, dark, and smelly. But we're safe here. No super mutants or raiders, and maybe Dr. Lee will find a way to get clean water for us. Well, I could tell you all about my hotel, but I'm sure I don't know anything about how Rivet City itself got started. I mean, you hear rumors and you make guesses, but I really couldn't say I know for sure, and I'd hate to lead you down the wrong path. Well, if it'll help, I once heard that this place was covered in Mirelurks 50 years ago, raiding all around the city. Eventually, some poor soul they thought would be lunch fought back and cleared out the whole ship. He set up the city in their place. They say he was the first counselor for the upper deck and lived here to his death. Can't say I believe it a bit, but it's a nice tale to tell. Only 120 caps. You won't get a better deal than that. Okay, then. Farewell.
Don't mind me. I haven't run into you before. You probably wouldn't remember me anyway. I'm Mr. Lopez. Nobody does. I'm not very memorable. Don't worry. It won't be a problem for much longer. Just leave me alone.
Welcome.
They call me Shrapnel. I run this place. Got the best damn armament you'll ever see.
Ain't seen many of those around lately. They're tough to come by. History? Fuck if I know. Hell, fuck if I care. What you looking for? A pleasure doing business with you.
Come back soon. We always got a lot of ammo in stock.
Welcome to Flak and Shrapnel. This here is Flak and Shrapnel's gun shop. Pretty catchy, huh? Take a look around. If you see anything you like, I'll be right over here. Here, in Rivet City, I'm packing, and most of the rest of these guys are packing, not to mention security. Try the Muddy Rudder. They don't ask too many questions down on the lower deck. Yeah, he's totally strung out. It's gonna kill him one of these days. Fred, I can't help you, pal. Been here for years, but all I know about the history is that it's a safe place to settle down. Maybe Bannon can help you out. He sure acts like he knows it all. Need to do some killing, eh? If you need more ammo, this is where to get it.
Welcome to Potomac Attire. I am Bannon, proprietor and city council member. I carry discriminating attire for discriminating customers. Between you and me, keeping out the riffraff is good for business. Dr. Lee, Chief Harkness, and I are all on the council. We meet every Monday morning. I can be very influential, if you know what I mean. Far more than Seagrave Holmes. A threat? No, of course not. Well, maybe. He wants to replace me on the council. He's a shady character. I just can't prove it. Now, if someone were to find something incriminating in his room, well, let's just say I would be very appreciative. Dr. Lee, Chief Harkness, and I are all on the council. It's a place to live, safe from raiders and super mutants. With Dr. Lee on our side, maybe we can even begin to rebuild the world. Why, I practically set this whole place up. When I got here 12 years ago, it was just a handful of dead-enders squatting in a rusted-out rowboat. Now I'm on the council, and with my leadership, we're the strongest settlement in the wastes. Of course, a few of those dead-enders still stick around, but who'd want to leave? Well, yes, but it was hardly any place of importance until I arrived on the scene. That's all ancient history now. No one would ever care about it. If you insist on wasting your time on that, you could try that bartending old crone down below, Belle Bonnie. Straight to the point. I like that. Pleasure doing business with you. Come back soon.
Welcome to a quick fix. This is a quick fix. I mean, that's the name of our shop. Polly and mine, that is. My name is Cindy. Cindy Cantelli. No. I would never do that. Polly does. Sample it, I mean. He's my deadbeat husband. The Muddy Rudder. Belle waters down the liquor, but it's cheap. It's on the lower deck. Nice to see you again. Are you looking for... He's hopeless. I have to keep him away from the shop, or he'll rob us blind. One of these days, he's going to end up dead. Well, I don't really know, to tell the truth. How does any city get started, really? But I've heard Bannon talk about how he was responsible for its success. So I'd ask him about it. We've got all kinds of chems. Another satisfied customer.
Thanks, Cindy. Shit. Just what this hole needs. Another woman. Either buy me a drink or take your skanky ass somewhere else. I guess you're okay. Thanks for the drink. Can't help you with the history, honey. It's noisy, dark, and smelly. But we're safe here. No super mutants or raiders, and maybe Dr. Lee will find a way to get clean water for us. Don't let me stop you.
Hey there. I'm Gary. Gary Staley. If you ever get hungry, stop by Gary's Galley. Perfect timing, then. My galley is in the market at the far end. I'll save you some Mirelurk cakes. Yeah, he comes by every night around closing time and tries to get Cindy to let him close up. Thank God she's smarter than that. I know a lot of places opened up when they got the hydroponics bay working, but that's hardly the start of it all, is it? Actually, Vera Weatherly might know more. She's always here and talking with folks, so if anyone's picked up a story or two, it'd be her. Bye.
I heard that the city
I'll be right with you. Welcome to Gary's Galley. Can I take your order? It's named after my dad. He's a great cook. You mean like hitting on me? No. Most of them are polite. Even the ones like Diego that I'd want to flirt with seem to ignore me. Well, one of us is. Sometimes it seems like he doesn't even know I'm there. Really? Oh, thank you. I just know I can seduce Diego with this. Then he'll have to marry me. We'll be so happy. I heard the place was settled by mercenaries who used to scavenge DC, but I don't really know. Here's a menu. Another satisfied customer. Thank you for coming to Gary's Galley.
I hope they do something and hardly remember that child that fell off.
Maybe a quick fix has something that will help you sleep. Cindy's got all kinds of good chems. I do the repairs around here. This place could use a few more... I'm busy. I've got a lot of repairs to make.
You'll never guess who just showed up at my place. That android catcher from the Commonwealth. At first, I thought he was going to kill me. But it turns out he's an android himself. And he's gone rogue. I didn't believe him at first, but I'm convinced he's telling the truth. We need to find him a place to hide along the railroad. He also insists that we help him locate a trusted doctor in Frankie.
Welcome to Potomac Attire. I think I've... Disgusting, isn't it? Someone should talk to that boy. He has no business hanging around that tramp if he's going to be a priest. Come back.
Hello, I'm Tammy. Have you seen my good-for-nothing son lately? The little shit is usually up to no good. Figures. You should buy me a drink now. Get away! I've got enough to deal with without you wasting my time. Like I...
I'm Belle Bonnie, and this is the Muddy Rudder. I'll tell you what I tell all the fresh meat. Don't start anything down here, or I'll have Brock kick your ass. You must be drunk. Are you gonna order or what? Go talk to Vera if you want gossip. I don't talk bad about folks. Oh yeah, he's a mess. I'm glad I'm not in Cindy's shoes. History? What, not enough shit around here already? You need to dig up more? Don't know if it ever had an official start. It's just been here forever. Stuck in the river and full of assholes. No, but I can damn sure share a bag of get the hell out of my bar. First one's on the house. Huh. Why, that lying son of a bitch. He wasn't even born when I got here. Want to know this tub's history? Only person who really knows it is Pinkerton. And most think he's dead, or gone. He's holed up in the other half of the ship, and he don't like visitors. He'll set you straight. What'll you have? Another satisfied customer. I'll be right here. I really hope you're not thinking of breaking into there. Yes?
I'm busy. I've got a lot of repairs to make.
Hey, be more careful. Quite an impressive collection, isn't it? Well, don't be shy. Have a look around. Abraham Washington's the name. Curator of this little slice of American history. Ah, a fellow scholar, I see. Each of the documents in this room tells a small but important story about the history of the United States of America. Unfortunately, the greatest prize of all is missing from the collection. In 1776, the Second Judgmental Congress got together and adopted a document drafted by none other than Thomas Jefferson himself. It was the day the United States of America earned its name and secured its place in history. This magnificent achievement took form in the Declaration of Independence. Oh, would you? It would mean so much to me and the Society's collection here. Excellent! You won't regret it, I promise you. Imagine, you are taking part in another chapter of American history. I envy you. You can find the Declaration of Independence in the ruins of the National Archives. In the D.C. ruins, you'll find the National Archives, or what's left of it anyway. The building should contain the document in a protective glass case. Be careful. The place is swarming with super mutants. Here, let me pinpoint its location for you. It's funny now that you ask. I can tell you all about the Capitol, but I really haven't got any idea about Rivet City itself. I can't see how important it is compared to the Capitol's history, but maybe Bannon might know something. He's in the governing council, after all. Please ask them. After all, knowledge is power. Certain information came to light. I paid a fortune in caps to obtain it. There really isn't much more to it. A piece of what was called parchment, sort of a thick paper, has faded handwritten writing all over it. It's no more than 2.5 feet tall and 2 feet wide. If you find it, you should be able to roll it up carefully. On July the 4th in 1776, a group calling themselves the Second Judgmental Congress got together at Fort McHenry in Maryland. After a ceremony which ended with Paul Revere singing the famous battle hymn known as the National Anthem, the document was signed. From there, it was sent to England by plane, presumably, and presented to King George himself. Thus began the Evolutionary War. Certainly. Be careful. Welcome to the Capital Preservation Society. For the most advanced scientific center in the capital.
Look, this is a restricted area. I'm tired of telling you people. It's you. My heavens, you look so much like him. You're James's daughter, aren't you? What are you doing here? You were too young to remember, and I suppose James never spoke of me. Typical. I'm Dr. Madison Lee. I worked with your parents many years ago. Now I run the science lab here in Rivet City. It was all I had left. When your mother died, your father decided to leave with you. He abandoned our work. We had no choice but to do the same. You mean you haven't? I assumed he sent you here. For that matter, aren't you supposed to be in a vault? James said he left you there. Did you? I was under the impression that's exactly the opposite of what he wanted for you. Well, you won't find him here. He's come and gone already. Your father insisted that we return to work on Project Purity. I tried telling him too much time has passed. There's no way it would work. Predictably, he refused to listen to me. He says he can prove it will work and headed off to the old lab. I'm sorry, I don't know what else to tell you. It's in the old Jefferson Memorial Building, northwest of here. Please, don't go after him. It was foolish of him to even think about going there alone. The last I knew, he was headed back to the lab at Project Purity in the old Jefferson Memorial Building. I still say it's dangerous, and he shouldn't have risked it. That's all I know. I suppose so. I worked with them for several years until your mother died, and your father decided it was time to leave. What else do you want to know? Complications from childbirth. None of us were expecting it. We weren't as prepared as we could have been. You have to understand, we were struggling with scavenged, derelict equipment. We did everything we could. Yes, well, I'm sorry it wasn't enough. Yes, your mother was... well, she was a good woman. A very dedicated scientist. Your father loved her very much. It was a shame that she died. She had been excited to meet you. James? He was very driven, determined to change the world. Well, we all were back then, I suppose. He was focused on two things, really. Making Project Purity work, and your mother. When she died, I think he gave up. I know he wanted to keep you safe, but I think part of what he did was run away. But it seems that he never really was able to get over the idea. I'm frankly shocked that he waited all this time and wants to try again. Okay. What do you want to know? Okay. Look, I don't want to be harsh, but I have problems of my own. I don't have the resources to support James's foolish endeavors, or you're chasing after him. I'm sorry. I suppose I can spare a few stim packs. It's not much, but it might make things easier for you. What? Well, I'm not sure what there is to tell. Your father and I, we worked together for a long time. I think we were really on to something. But then there were complications. The project was abandoned and your father disappeared. I returned here to Rivet City and established the lab you see before you now. Project Purity, we called it. What do you want to know? It was simple, really. Fresh, clean water for everyone. Such a simple idea, and yet so impossible to realize. The plan was to build a facility that could purify all the water in the tidal basin at once. No radiation, no muck, just clear water. It just turned out to be more difficult than we anticipated. We had the basic principles down, we understood most of the science behind it, but the radiation in the area is so pervasive. Small-scale tests were fine, but anytime we tried to test the process on a larger scale, it was just too much. Maybe if we'd had more time, or better equipment. You happened. It wasn't just you. We had more problems than we could handle already, but your birth is what finally pushed it over the edge. Your father decided that you were more important than everything we'd been working for, and he left. He left all of us. Once he was gone, the Brotherhood decided we weren't worth their time anymore. Without their protection, we had to abandon the Purifier. Okay. This is the Rivet City Science Lab. It's taken many long years to put together, but we've done well for ourselves. Our work on portable fusion power and hydroponics are coming along quite nicely, if not quite according to schedule. Rivet City is one of the few bastions of civilization left in the land. We're working to rebuild our society, to make the world livable again. I could tell you all about the science lab, but even though I was here near the start, I can't really help with the details of how it all worked out. It all seems like a lifetime ago. I'm afraid I've had a lot of things on my mind since those early days. Good luck finding...
Capital Wasteland, I find your...
Look, Dr. Zimmer, we've been... Yeah? Look, some of us are trying to get work done here. There have been enough disruptions recently. Anybody coming through here would have to talk to Dr. Lee. Why don't you go bother her about it? She's certainly head and shoulders above most everyone else around here, though that's not saying much. The Weatherly Hotel is a good choice. It's on the upper deck.
You there! What are you, some kind of lab assistant? No, you look a bit more weathered. Are you by any chance for hire? To the point! I like that. Well, as it turns out, I've misplaced some very sensitive property. How do I put this in a way you'll understand? All you know of robots are those buckets of bolts, those Mr. Handshakers and whatnot. Well, that's not all a robot can be. You see, in the Commonwealth, we've made artificial persons, synthetic humanoids, programmed to think and feel and do whatever we need. And occasionally, they get confused and wander off. Nonsense! This is a machine we're talking about. Can you enslave a generator or a water purifier? Of course not. The same principle applies. But let's get back to your mission. You are to find this missing android. I've tracked him to somewhere here in the Capital Wasteland. He must have done something drastic, like facial surgery and a mind wipe, or else I would have found him by now. It will be no easy task. He may not even realize he's an android. Don't upset him by talking with him. Just come get me immediately. I'll handle it. I'm sorry, it slipped my mind. I have at my disposal advanced technology from the Commonwealth. I'd be willing to share some of it with you. Just think, you'll be the envy of all your friends. Excellent! Locate my android, and you won't be disappointed. Here, listen to this message he sent me. He's mocking me. I swear, I'll make him pay for that. Forget everything you know about robots. Those buckets are mere children's toys compared to the real thing. Androids have fake skin and blood and are programmed to simulate human behavior, like breathing. They can even eat and digest food realistically. Like I've said, I suspect he's had facial reconstruction and possibly even a mind wipe. Search the offices of doctors or techies for android information. If he's come into contact with these people, there may be records. Start with Dr. Preston. He lives on this leaky boat. See if he knows anything. He's a doctor, after all. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm busy trying to ignore my surroundings. Maybe he didn't exactly wander off. Maybe he fled. Escaped captivity, as it were, if he began to misinterpret his situation. It's possible my android sought to forget his previous life, wipe away all memory, all guilt, trick himself into believing he really is human. So no, he may not be just an ordinary robot, but he's certainly not human, no matter how badly he wishes it so. I made him. I want him. End of story. By God, you're as annoying as you are clever. Very well. I'll tell you what you want to know, if it helps you locate my property. The duty of this particular unit was the hunting and capturing of other escaped androids. Yes, others have escaped. It's one of the side effects of having such an advanced AI. Machines start to think for themselves, fool themselves into believing they have rights. And so, this particular android may have believed he'd done something wrong, immoral, and wanted to forget those deeds. Satisfied now? This particular android, designation A321, is different, special, the most advanced synthetic humanoid I've ever developed. The others, like my escort Armitage there, are all older models, easily replicated. But A321? It will take years to recreate him. So you see, this android must be located at all costs. The others are all acceptable losses, but A321, he is irreplaceable. The Commonwealth itself is nothing but a war-ravaged quagmire of violence and despair. Inside the sealed environment of the Institute, however. But the Institute's affairs are none of your concern. Your undeveloped mind couldn't even begin to comprehend what we've accomplished. Looks to me like a giant boat ran aground and a bunch of savages moved in. History lesson over. Of course you do.
I'm going topside.
That's close enough. Keep your hands where I can see them.
Hey, please excuse me. There is much work to be done. I help Dr. Lee when she needs equipment moved. I am no scientist. I just help with the heavy things. Please excuse me. There is much work to be done.
Hey.
Hey. Who are you? Got any psycho? I could really use a fix, but I'm broke. I run the chem shop, but I'm broke and can't buy chems. Thanks, man. I really need this fix. Huh? History? What history? No history here, girl. It's a place to live, safe from raiders and super mutants. With Dr. Lee on our side, maybe we can even begin to rebuild the world. Yeah, me too.
Yes?
What do you want? My mom is probably drunk, and my dad's dead. Is that good enough for you, asshole? I've heard of you. You're one of the good guys. It's a boat. A really big boat. Yeah, Dad built it to fight off the Mirelurks. And Mom, she's like the Mirelurk queen. It's a boat. What did you say about my mother? You take that back! I'll show you. I'll show all of you. When I'm gone, my mom will really miss me.
Don't mind me. I'm just taking up space here.
Yes, miss. Yes, miss.
It makes me feel safer knowing you're around. What? Go jump off the...
Hello, ma'am.
Zimmer, by the time you get this message, I'll already be gone. I'm escaping the Commonwealth. I want to live my own life on my own terms, as my own man. I know what you're thinking, that I'm malfunctioning. I used to think that's what caused the runaways too. But I know better now. Self-determination is not a malfunction. I'm not just willing to put up with all the bullshit anymore. You humans are going to have a full-fledged rebellion on your hands if you don't start treating us synths as persons. I know you'll be marshaling the Retention Bureau to come after me, but I know all the tricks of the trade. You won't be finding me, I assure you. By the time you get this, I will be someone else. It's the price I pay for my liberation. My final act of rebellion against a system I no longer believe in. Goodbye, Zimmer, and good riddance.
Hey there. How the hell did you get in here? I suppose you can't be all that bad if you made it this far without dying. This is the part where you tell me what the hell you are doing bothering an old man who obviously wants to be left alone. Get on with it already. What? I have better things to do than yak about those backstabbers up topside. Now get going. Ha! Sounds like you've been poking around, all right. I'm surprised any of those reprobates even remember me. Maybe they still laugh about how they edged me out of the council back then. But you can set the record straight. For that, you have to go all the way back to when remnants of the Naval Research Institute cleared the Mirelurks off this wreck, about 40 years ago. We were looking for new lab space, and this bucket of bolts just happened to have a well-preserved science bay on it. Everything else just grew up around that lab once we got it up and running. The science team was led by one H. Pinkerton. That lasted until about 18 years ago, when those ambitious backbiters like Lee and her little team showed up. She came in with her big Purity Project pipe dream, and my whole staff started working with her, those traitors. She even took my seat on the council. By then, I was glad to leave it behind. But hell if I'm leaving the city I made great. Of course I do. A good scientist always keeps track of their data. Here, they probably don't even remember, but I kept the records of that first council meeting. Take them, if it'll put them in their place. I live here. It's where I do my work, and it's far away from Dr. Lee and all those other monkeys dressed up like scientists. You made it past my defenses, which proves you aren't a dummy. And you haven't killed me, so I suppose you aren't here to do that. I suppose you can hang around if you want. Just don't touch anything. The secret kind. Well, if you must know, I'm an electrician and computer expert, and I'm a bit of a surgeon. Really, the most gifted scientist you'll find. I'm the guy that got Rivet City up and running in the first place. And after all that, Lee and her gang of flunkies pushed me out. Ha! Project Purity, indeed. What a bunch of morons. They can't even clean some water. Don't let your guard down.
Hey. If you need to buy something, Moira up in Craterside Supply can help you.
I hope things are going well for you today, madam.
All of us here thank you for everything you've done. For us. For the Wastes. We pulled... It's the... Sir...
Any luck finding out how Rivet City got started? Aha! Not just as easy as asking around, was it? Good information takes real work to uncover after all. So, tell me all about it. Well, this data looks legitimate. An outgrowth of a science station, huh? Just goes to show what I always say about cleverness. A bit of smarts leads to a big reward, huh? Speaking of which, in thanks, have a few of these for the next time you've got to be quick on your wits. Oh, and I'll let the Rivet City traders know they'll be favorably mentioned in the book. You'll get a discount buying gear from them in the future. It certainly is. With that last bit of info, I'm all done. For all your hard work, I want you to have this mini nuke. I kept meaning to use it to dig a well, but honestly, it just makes me nervous. Now, I just need to do a few last tweaks, and it'll be ready to print and distribute. Thanks for all the help. Oh, it's great! Why, with the information here, we'll save hundreds of lives, maybe even thousands. I'll share these with the traders, and soon everyone will know about the Wasteland Survival Guide. But first, here, the very first copy of our book goes to you. I couldn't have done it without you, my Wasteland Survival expert. Have you heard the so-called android recording? It sounds like an ordinary man. Here's a spare copy of that old holotape. It's a hoax for sure. I guess they sent those tapes to lots of people, especially people like me who are interested in technology. Boy, I wish androids were real, though. Sure thing. See?
God bless the USA.
If you're listening to this recording, it is because you're believed to be trustworthy. I hope that is the case because this recording puts us both in danger. I'm escaping from the Commonwealth. I'm an android, a synthetic man, a slave. The men hunting me are ruthless and will stop at nothing to retrieve their property. I need to find a doctor in the wasteland to perform facial reconstruction. I also need someone who knows a great deal about computers. I need to have my memories erased and my face altered to look like someone else.
And nowhere else.
I got
I hope you found me a place to live. You really found her? Oh, thank you so much. I can't believe everything you've done for me. Most people would have kept on walking when I ran up to them screaming like I did. I'll get my stuff together and move on out there right away. Come visit me sometime. I got a lot of stuff to get together. Can't wait to get to Rivet City.
Protect and serve.
Your arrival is most unexpected, but not entirely unwelcome. I'm afraid that's my fault. The last mutagen sample was given to the Ant Queen's entire brood. The brood consists of hundreds of larvae. I'm afraid that after they hatched, some escaped through the nooks and crannies in the tunnels. The fire ants you are seeing now are merely the remnants of the brood returning to the nest. Well, I'm uncertain. This does deal quite a blow to my research. First, however, I must stay here and devote all of my resources to finding the proper mutagen formula. Now, was it 5 parts per milliliter or was it 6?